The scream echoed in the bright daylight like a blade slicing through calm air. A sound so raw and desperate that anyone who heard it would never forget it. It came from the dusty roadside outside a small town cafe where a woman staggered backward beneath the merciless grip of three men who believed no one would ever dare stop them. They were wrong. They had no idea who she was. And they had no clue that her husband, the vice president of one of the most respected biker clubs in the region, was only minutes away. What happened next would shake the entire town and leave a memory carved deeper than scars. If you believe kindness and second chances still matter in this world, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us spread stories that remind people of compassion, courage, and humanity. Clara Hale had always been a gentle soul in a world that wasn't always gentle back. She spent her days volunteering at local shelters, running small charity drives, and doing what she could to make life a little brighter for people who rarely saw hope. Her husband, Marcus Hale, the vice president of the Steel Guardians Motorcycle Club, admired her for that. He always told her she was the soft light that balanced the hard life he had lived for years. They were an unusual pair to outsiders, but those who really knew them understood perfectly. Clara's compassion gave Marcus a reason to keep his club honorable, and Marcus's strength gave Clara the safety to continue her work without fear. But all of that peace shattered on a warm, sunny afternoon when Clara left the cafe after delivering homemade meals to a group of seniors from her nonprofit. She was loading an empty container into her truck when a battered sedan screeched beside the curb. Three men stepped out. Jax Renner, Cody Flint, and Trevor Pike. Small-time criminals who believed intimidation was a currency and cruelty a language. They weren't there for money. They weren't there for revenge. They were simply looking for someone weaker than them, someone alone, someone they could break. Clara became their target for no reason except their own ugliness. They cornered her behind her truck, the daytime sun illuminating every trembling breath she took. Jax shoved her first, laughing when she stumbled. Cody grabbed at her bag, ripping it off her shoulder. Trevor snatched the locket around her neck, a small golden heart Marcus had given her years ago. When Clara reached to take it back, Trevor shoved her so hard she hit the side of her truck, and slid down, dazed. The men didn't stop. They pushed her, taunted her, grabbed her arms so roughly the bruises bloomed instantly. She screamed only when one of them lifted his hand again, not knowing if he would hit her or worse. That scream is what reached someone who recognized her voice, the cafe owner, who immediately called Marcus. Marcus was 5 minutes away. Those 5 minutes felt like hours as Clara fought to stay conscious. The sunlight flickered across her vision, but she could still hear the men laughing, still feel the rope of fear tightening around her ribs. She wondered if someone would find her before Marcus did, and whether she wanted that or feared it. She knew her husband. She knew what he was capable of. And she knew that seeing her like this would ignite something deep, something driven not by revenge, but by love strong enough to scorch the earth. Marcus arrived with the roar of 5 motorcycles behind him, the Steel Guardians riding like thunder through midday glare. He didn't need to ask questions. As he jumped off his bike, he saw Clara on the ground, her hair tangled, her cheek red, her eyes glassy with shock. For one heartbeat, he froze, eyes widening, chest tightening. Then everything inside him snapped. The thugs tried running, but they didn't get far. Sunlight glinted off chrome as the bikers spread out, cutting off every escape path. Marcus grabbed Jax first, slamming him against the cafe's outer wall so hard the man's knees buckled. But Marcus didn't hit him. He didn't need to. His presence alone pressed fear deep into Jax's bones. The club handled the other two, restraining them with thick rope as they struggled and screamed. Trevor's attempt at bravery dissolved quickly when one of the bikers, a giant named Rowan, stared him down with a calmness scarier than rage. Within moments, all 3 attackers were tied, kneeling in the parking lot under the bright afternoon sun, their eyes darting around desperately as townspeople gathered in stunned silence. Marcus didn't even look at them at first. He went straight to Clara, kneeling beside her. She wasn't crying. Clara never cried first, but her hands were shaking as he lifted her face gently. The bruise on her cheek made Marcus's throat burn. He helped her up slowly, holding her close, whispering apologies she didn't need because she knew none of this was his fault. Still, Marcus blamed himself. He always would. Only after ensuring Clara could stand on her own did he turn to the thugs. The sunlight bathed half his face in gold, the other half in shadow, making his expression impossible to read. He didn't shout, he didn't strike, he simply stepped forward and let his silence speak louder than fury. The thugs trembled harder, even the wind went quiet. Marcus told the onlookers to call the sheriff. He wanted these men to face the law, not his fists, because Clara's voice just moments before he approached had cracked with a single plea. "Don't lose yourself for me." Those words anchored him. When the sheriff arrived, he'd never seen anything like it. 3 criminals tied securely, unharmed, but terrified, sitting in broad daylight as a biker club stood around them, not with arrogance, but with the calm authority of people protecting one of their own. Clara insisted on giving her statement publicly, wanting the town to understand that violence had no place in the daylight of their community. Her bravery stunned everyone. The Steel Guardian stood behind her silently while she spoke, sunlight catching her hair like a halo. The sheriff later admitted that without the bikers arriving when they did, the incident could have ended far worse. Instead, justice began immediately, and Clara's voice became the strength of the story, not the fear. As days passed, the town's view of the club changed. People saw them not as rough riders, but as protectors who could turn thunder into safety. Marcus never spoke of the incident again, but he kept Clara's locket, now repaired, close to him every day. She wore it proudly, not as a reminder of fear, but of survival and love. If this story touched you or reminded you of the power of standing up for one another, please like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support keeps these meaningful stories alive. Before we end, tell us in the comments, what does true courage mean to you? The sunlight that day showed the world something important. Even in the brightest daylight, darkness can appear, but so can heroes. And sometimes the strongest ones ride on 2 wheels and fight with their hearts before their hands.